As more and more tech companies lay off, you can expect outsourcing to increase. And as the war in Eastern Europe continues, you should be looking out for these few countries to see if they are going to outpace the US in tech jobs. Hi, my name is April. Thanks for visiting my channel. I have a new background for you, so let me know if you like it when I change locations on this channel. All 100 of my subscribers. In this video, I'm going to talk about outsourcing, and outsourcing is a common tool used by companies when they need to reduce costs. Why do companies need to reduce costs? Well, maybe their earnings are below projections and their stocks are crashed. And outsourcing employees can take care of a lot of problems. First off, you're usually outsourcing to a consulting company or an in-between company so that you don't have to deal with insurance or healthcare, any of those US employment regulations that US companies have to follow. Or maybe you built a new office in another country and you have moved several jobs over there, maybe even American employees to help set up that office. Either way, getting around the high US tech salaries is a great way for companies to reduce their costs and make it look like they're losing less money than they are. I've already heard about it happening in the industry. I know personally Amazon is asking these third-party consulting companies to hire outsourced employees. And as the economy is changing in the future, you can expect more tech companies to follow that same path. And where are companies outsourcing to? Well, Europe is the most friendly country for Americans, other than Canada, obviously, to outsource to because they generally speak English and are a bit culturally closer to Americans in the coding culture. But maybe you don't know this. When we think Eastern European, we think the former Soviet Union. We think about Russia attacking Ukraine right now. And yeah, those countries were devastated in the past by wars, but you may not know that Eastern Europe has spent a lot of government money to build out the internet infrastructure. And there are two main countries we need to keep our eyes out on, not only for countries that outsourcing will most likely go to, but competing hubs in the tech industry. The first one being Estonia. With one of the highest startup rates per capita and an economically active population oriented towards entrepreneurship and distribution, it's no wonder Estonia is a capital in the tech industry. And I didn't know this, Skype comes from Estonia in 2005, which was sold to eBay for $2.6 billion. Plus, the government initiatives and education policies encourage tech entrepreneurship. In contrast to the Silicon Valley that has higher costs in running businesses and not as many government policies encouraging entrepreneurship. And Estonia is widely considered to be the most advanced digital society in the world. I had no clue. It considers internet access a basic human right, and it was one of the first known countries in the world where 5G solutions were demonstrated in real life. Traditional paperwork has fallen to the wayside and has been replaced by digital ID cards that allow you to provide digital signatures on demand. Estonia is accelerating many of the processes needed to develop tech and create these tech cities. In contrast to the US, we are really bogged down by paperwork in a lot of our processes, not only in the government, but just in business in general. So Estonia seems like it's light years ahead than the US. And while Silicon Valley may always be the capital of the tech hub, there's a lot of reasons that Silicon Valley isn't able to keep up its pace. Number one, California just is not a business-friendly state. In fact, it might be the most unfriendly state for business. They have really high taxes and a lot of loopholes that you have to go through. And then the Bay Area in general is insanely expensive. It has some of the most expensive housing right now. And California is a state that historically has crashing home prices. It has the biggest crashes in home prices across any of the states in the US. So California in general is not a place that is able to foster Silicon Valley to grow at a faster speed, and it seems like Estonia is going to pick up the pace. Now, if you are in the tech industry or you work in tech in general, this may affect you. Maybe this is your opportunity to consider relocation to Estonia, or maybe your job is moving to Estonia. Estonia has a wide array of infrastructure that makes it ideal for startup hubs. There are numerous incubators and accelerators, both the private and public sectors, which have created thriving startup ecosystems. There are also numerous funds that support startups both financially and information they need to develop and scale rapidly. That sounds like that one incubation that's in Silicon Valley. It's something, it's skipping my mind, but yeah, Silicon Valley does have incubators. It seems like per capita though, Estonia is the place to be. Silicon Valley may be the gold standard for tech hubs, but when it comes to more money flowing, there's more money coming to European tech than the US. And 19%, that's almost 20% of the funding is coming from US firms. But there is another European country, the neighbor to Estonia, Latvia. Business founders rate Latvia as 69% high or very high in friendly business regulations. Compare that to Paris and Berlin. They got 49 and 61% respectively. And I'm pretty sure that rating is way higher than San Francisco or Silicon Valley, but we don't know. The government in Latvia puts tremendous effort into boosting the country's startup ecosystem. It provides various types of support mechanisms which are delivered and implemented through Magnetic Latvia Startup, also known as Startup Latvia, which is under the arm of the Investment and Development Agency of Latvia. That's insane. The financial support available falls into the following categories: university incubators, Magnetic Latvia Startup, finance institution, venture capital funds, Magnetic Latvia incubators, startup accelerators, and business angels. Wow, that's a ton of categories. Most of these organizations provide more than just financial support. It is a key importance of startups to choose the right source of help based on their stage and next startups. So here you have it. Outsourcing is a real reality, and it may be going to Estonia or Latvia. If you are afraid that your job might be outsourced, you might want to consider the industry that you're working in and the tools that you are using. Cloud infrastructure, data, and a lot of the more back-end roles will always be in demand. If you're one of those people that works in hardware at the microchip level, you're always going to be in demand. But if you specifically focus on, say, front-end design or product development, I'm saying those specifically because I see those people on the job market a lot. There may be more opportunity in the future for your job to be laid off. Maybe this inspires you to relocate to one of these other countries. There's other tech hubs in the US. Obviously, Austin is seeing a huge rise. Denver has been known for its tech, Salt Lake City, Boston, but all of these cities are still bogged down by a lot of problems that the US has, that these other countries, coming out of a history of economic depression in the past, they've been able to build their infrastructure with a clean slate. But here in America, we have a lot of older systems, older houses, older infrastructure that can't be updated very quickly. It will take a long time and a lot of money needed. So I wouldn't be surprised to see these US tech hubs, while they will grow probably faster than Silicon Valley because there's better business practices in other states, I could still expect that these countries like Estonia and Latvia are going to grow faster. So this is the update to my other outsourcing video. You can check it out somewhere on this screen. I'll have it linked. Thanks for watching my channel. Let me know if you like this longer form. I'm trying to cut up my videos less. So it's more conversational, and I switch up my background. This is a university, relaxing, some water. You may have heard some motorcycles in the background. That's what happens. But thanks for watching my channel. Please like this video, share it with people that you know, especially if you know anyone that wants to move to Europe. They're trying to leave the US. That's a popular trend. Don't suggest them to go to Paris or Germany. Tell them to go to Eastern Europe, and don't tell them I gave them that advice, because I don't want to be held liable, since there's obviously a war happening in Ukraine. But I see a lot of these Ukrainian people have moved to the US or moved to other European countries and are trying to get remote jobs. I could expect some of them will just settle up and start their own startup companies. I would suggest that they don't do it in the US, because it seems like these Eastern European countries are really the place to be. Thanks again for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.
Let's get back to work.
Get back to work.
America is back to work.